Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Jeffrey McPherson and I'm a professor of theology here at Roberts Wesleyan. My journey towards ordination really began when I was a teenager. I have always been intrigued by some of the deeper theological questions and have always had this push towards ministry. But the way that God has worked in my life and has called me is that He really called me along an academic route. And so at various times when perhaps, working in the church directly may have been a possibility, at those times I always felt God calling me along this more academic route. And in the end, that brought me to Roberts Wesleyan and to a position where I'm able to teach theology to undergraduates, which is an amazing calling and just a wonderful, wonderful experience. Working with undergraduates, you always get these great questions. Yesterday, I was talking with one of my students, and he was asking me, how do you find resilience in your life? And it's great to be asked questions like that, just out of the blue. And I was thinking of this wonderful sermon by Paul Tillich, where he is trying to encapsulate what grace means in our time. And he frames the idea of grace around this phrase, you are accepted. And this love and this grace, this acceptance of God has been a foundation in my life for so long that it really has enabled me to pursue the calling that God has placed on my life. So there's been this desire for ordination for a long time that I now want to live out in the midst of my academic calling. And there's a couple of reasons for this. One is that I really do, teaching in a free Methodist institution, I really want to be committed to the denomination that I'm working for and to place myself under the authority of the bishops as I teach theology. And there are many things that I've come to love about the Free Methodist Church. I really love the way that it brings together a clear gospel message with a deep concern for social justice. And I really believe that our world needs that vision of the church in this day and time. And so I'm excited to be a part of that. There's this great phrase by Søren Kierkegaard, this idea that he says, life must be lived forwards, but it can only be understood backwards. And I really see my journey through that lens, that along the way, I've just been taking steps of faith, and sometimes it only makes sense when you look behind and see that God has been with you all along the journey. And so for me, even though I'm not 100% sure how God is going to use my ordination as I walk forwards, I know that He's calling me to that at this time. And as I look back in the future, it's going to really make perfect sense. Just a little bit about myself. I've been married for almost 33 years to my wife, Michelle. She has been my faithful partner in this journey. And we are originally from Canada, but moved to the United States, where we are now citizens, to teach here at Roberts Wesleyan. I have two daughters, Abigail, who is moved back to Canada and is a school teacher there. She's married to Derek, who's a pastor at a local church in Kitchener-Waterloo. And my other daughter, Amaris, who's just completing her nursing degree in Florida and is actually going to stay in Florida to work as a nurse. I'm thankful for so many things in my life. Thankful for my family. Thank you for the way that God has guided me. Thankful for the way that God has given us a vision of the kingdom of God, that in these really uncertain times, we can know the vision of what community is really supposed to look like, what justice and righteousness looks like when we live together under God's call. I'm thankful for that vision that gives direction and guidance in these really, really uncertain times. And I'm excited to take this step of faith into ordination and just see where God leads me with that. But mostly I'm taking the step of ordination as a step of faith, of obedience to what God has been calling me to for a long time.